So the Masters golf tournament gets started tomorrow, and the tournament and its sponsors are now on the hot seat, under pressure to cancel or to move out of Georgia. The most storied tournament in golf says no. Playing politics will only hurt Georgians in the pocketbook and beyond. Here's Augusta National Golf Club Chairman Fred Ridley.
I know you would like for us to make a proclamation on this. I just don't think that is going to be helpful to ultimately reaching a resolution. And so we would like to encourage people to talk, to communicate, to let the democratic process work.
So first, President Biden applauded the MLB's boycott of Georgia. He thought that was a good idea. He backed them on that. But now when he sees everything that's happening, he's kind of changing his tune.
Today's professional athletes are acting incredibly responsibly. I would strongly support them doing that. The people who need the help the most, people who are making hourly wages, sometimes get hurt the most.
That's true. So here now, former Georgia Senator Kelly Loeffler. She lost her election in Georgia earlier this year. She's been very critical of the state's election process there, even calling on the Secretary of State to resign, at one point contesting the results of the presidential election as well. Good to see you, Senator. Thank you very much for being here. First off, your thoughts on President Biden and his different take and how it has shifted over the last week.
Well, thanks for having me on, Martha. Look, his comments were incredibly irresponsible because he repeated misinformation that had been promulgated by Stacey Abrams, who's promoting a multi-million-dollar misinformation campaign here in Georgia and across the country to raise millions for herself and her voting organizations on the back of hardworking Georgians who have now lost a $100 million opportunity to host the All-Star game. As the former commissioner said, baseball must rise above politics. That's what our country wants, but the president, MLB, has drawn this country into a divisive moment based on complete lies.
So what did you think about the Jim Crow discussion? Here's President Biden using that analogy. Watch.
It is reassuring to see that for-profit operations and businesses are speaking up about how these new Jim Crow laws are just antithetical to who we are.
So there was pushback on the Jim Crow analogy, but he keeps using it, keeps going back there, Kelly. So obviously he thinks it's significant.
Well, Martha, it's disgusting because if he bothered to read the law, the Election Integrity Act, he would see that it expands voting opportunities, it increases integrity. The majority of Georgians supported more safeguards after our election. In fact, 74% of Georgians support having voter ID, same numbers across the country. There was a real opportunity here to have a dialogue and ask questions about it, but he succumbed to the cancel culture, the pressure from Stacey Abrams and this orchestrated campaign to raise money. They're raising millions of dollars off the back of this misinformation right now. And I commend the Masters for keeping things going, because companies are going to need a clause that's a Stacey Abrams risk factor, that if they get involved in these politics, it could cost them revenues, customers, loyalty, brand equity, and so forth. So this is an important learning moment to make sure that we have the right information before we make decisions that hurt hardworking Georgians, small businesses, 30% of whom are Black-owned.
All right. Thank you very much. We're out of time. I want to ask you about 2022, so come back. Hope you'll come back and we'll see you soon. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Here now for